Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Time. Today, we're gonna check how to play with Lan. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you need the content. So, Lan is the newest character in the game, and of course, she comes with new weapons, new mechanics, so we might as well check everything that she has to offer. And we're gonna start with the affinity, because there's a highlight to be done here. So the first thing that you'll get is character EXP, which is not that impressive, but after that, she gets 1 item drop passive, 2 item drops passives, and 3 item drop passives. Well, that's something to take into consideration. Depending on the percentages, this might be another must-have character that you want to have on your formation to maximize your drops. I mean, I don't think she's gonna be... Asuka is for AP, but which was the one? Which was the one for drops? It was... No, I mean, I bet she's gonna be on par with these ones. So it is another option, if you want. Now, let's talk very quickly about her pack weapon and the gacha weapons, starting with the gacha ones. So obviously we have the Momochi weapon, which, I mean, works because she's not a slow attacker. She has enough multi-hit on certain skills, not all of them, but certain skills. Her basics allow her to abuse this weapon, sure enough. And then we have the ultimate weapon, the character release weapon. So this one increases damage dealt to bosses by 12% and reduces damage taken by 12%. So that's nice and all, but it is an anti-boss weapon, which means that for dailies, event, and everything else, it's gonna be a bit stick. You only want to use this on challenging content, and it is pretty valuable because balance effect that give you both damage increase and damage reduction are going to allow you to survive. And Lan can be frail by herself. I mean, I've been doing some runs, and when she takes the hits, yeah, she can just explode. But at the same time, I'm on high floors of not tower of VR, so obviously it's going to be the enemies are going to be dealing that much damage. So yeah, you let me know in the comments if you think she's frail or not. Now, as for the active is also pretty decent. Deals damage equal to 420% or 840% of attack when 5 out of 5, and remove 2 types of buffs from the enemy. Buff removal on demand on 3 particle cost. That's amazing. That's great. Honestly, a super great weapon. I mean, mid for non-challenging content, because it doesn't provide anything actually useful on non-challenging content. But I mean, what we want to play is challenging content, so yeah, that's a good thing. Now, as for the pack weapon, yeah, they have been doing these weapons particularly strong as of late, ever since Ragnarok. But this one, it is kind of balanced, and I would say that this isn't the most busted thing in the world. If they want to make Lan busted, then they can do that on the character release pack. And they should focus on making that weapon stronger than the character release weapon pack. So, increases damage dealt by Sandclone by 20%, instantly activates Sandclone at a 30% chance when using a skill, increases damage dealt with normal attacks by 25%. Each time a Sandclone is activated, increases damage ally dealt increase ally damage dealt with normal attacks by an additional 2%, stack up to 10 times. So, yeah, very quickly. This last part of the text, this last part of the effect is very, very niche. There's a handful of characters who are actually going to take advantage of that. Let's see, who would be those? I mean, of course, Emily and Mirabelle can take advantage of that because they are extremely fast attackers, though their basics are extremely weak because of their speed. Then another character that can take advantage of that is Lina. Another one would be... Where is she? Felicia, that's right, Felicia can take advantage of this. Astaroth can take advantage of this. As I mentioned, Emily. Where is Nagi? Nagi can take advantage of this. She is probably the strongest basic attack user in the game. Maybe paired with Felicia because of her speed, but those are some characters that you can use to take advantage of that weapon in your compositions. Now, if you want to focus on the basic aspect of that, but let's check what Lan is going to offer. So let me just, I forgot to do this. Let's see, Lan over here. So Lan, what is Lan going to do? What does she offer? What is she? Lan is an assist type character, human type, and as you can see, she's already level 87. She is mainly a DPS with a little bit of supporting capabilities and a couple of random effects, which I understand but aren't synergistic with what she wants to do. So, let's check. Starting with the leader skill. Every time a skill is used 5 times, a sand clone is summoned which uses a skill together with you and deals damage equal to 50% of your own damage. So you're going to increase that by 40%. I don't know if that would be a 90% or 40% of the 50%, but I mean, you're dealing more damage if you have this weapon with the leader skill. Now, while the clone seems similar to some of the mechanics that we have seen in the game, it's actually not so, because Shiranui and who is the other chick? Azusa. Azusa would summon clones of themselves that would do basically normal attacks, sometimes skills, and that would be it. But Lan only summons a clone simultaneously while launching the 5th skill activation, and the clone does exactly the same skill at the same time. It's not a random skill, it's the one that you're using exactly at the same time to deal double damage. Well, it's not double damage, but increased damage. So this means that you want to be aware of your skill activations, use your basics just to stall for cooldown, and micromanage your way into dealing the most damage with Lan. So, what skills does she have? What can she do? First of all, we have the basic enhancer. Chinese Union Art Staff Technique. Melee attack, basic attacks, enhanced basic attack increasing their attack range. One supporter increases the speed of normal attacks by 5%. 2 supporters increase the speed of normal attacks by an additional 10%. And 3 supporters increase particle charge amount by 50%. This one is... I mean, it is like a Spinel basic enhancer. It is amazing. It is great. But there's so many things on her kit that want you not to use this amazing basic enhancer. And the leader skill helps to that, just like a Spinel. You want to use the skills rather than the basics, which is a shame. The basic is super great if you're farming dailies or maybe event. But if you're installing content, perhaps you want to use something else. Unless you're doing a basic enhance or basic attack strategy of some kind. I mean, which too, I guess. But anyways, let's continue. Chinese Union Art Storm Formation. Storm Formation is a melee attack with the ability to go range. And it says, during normal attacks, hold attack. 7-second cooldown. Adds additional attack to the basic attack combo. The attack performed varies depending on the timing of skill use. If you have 2 green, recover HP by 5% of damage dealt. If you have 2 blue, increases speed by 20% for 7 seconds. If you have 2 red, increases skill damage by 25%. This is a pretty good skill. You can use it in any part of your basic combo, and it has different effects based on which part of the combo you interrupted. So Obviously, the one that deals the most damage is going to be the last hit. You finish your basic attack combo and then you use this skill and it deals the most damage. But it is a pretty competent skill. I like it because interrupting your basic and getting super armor to do another attack and deal damage, it is great. You can just stop your combo beforehand. One of the big flaws of this character is definitely the fact that she's extremely vulnerable in her basic attacks. She can be interrupted easily. I mean, the range increase kind of compensates for that, and the super armor provided by this skill also kind of compensates. So they are definitely useful. Just be aware that you don't want to put yourself in front of the enemy and get hits while doing basics. They're gonna interrupt you. You're not gonna do anything, so careful there. Now, Sand Art Golden Crusher Staff. Melee attack, hold attack, 14-second cooldowns, second cooldown. Perform an area attack in a straight line with a giant staff that moves the position to the position of the tip of the staff. 1 green, skill cooldown time reduced by 20%. 2 green, performs an additional attack after moving. 3 green, increases critical rate by 50% and gains super armor while attacking. So, as usual, this is kind of the weakest of the pure color skill because it is the one that has the most base damage. Because it doesn't have any kind of multiplier. Only the critical rate increase, which is acceptable, but I mean there are pure crit damage supporters that you can use so that this becomes explosive. So it's fine. The issue that I have with this skill is that the AoE is terrible, similar to the flaw with what's her name? Sora's blue skill. The issue with her skill is that the AoE is basically a cylinder, and if it hits, nice, but it is not huge. In this case, you're gonna notice a lot that you're not gonna be able to hit the wave of enemies. This is a terrible skill for farming, and even it feels also terrible when doing challenging content because of how the movement works, because of how much it takes to launch, and because of the AoE. The combination of those three make this skill undesirable in most cases. You're just gonna feel it. It's not that it's a bad skill. It's just like all those conditions make it annoying because you might just miss the enemy because if they move just a little bit while you're launching and you're ready target a specific position, you're not gonna hit it, and it's like, oh god. And because the AoE is not that big, you're gonna miss. So yeah, even so, it is big enough to hit a wave of enemies if you lure them into a line. So yeah, it can be used for farming, it's just not easy to do. Then, Sand Art Descending Dragon Strike. Descending Dragon Strike is a range attack with a couple melee hits. So, hold the bait, 14-second cooldown, perform an air attack by summoning a giant staff in the air and strikes the ground. 1 red increases damage by 10% for 7 seconds. 2 red add 2 additional attacks, 2 other hits from those summoned staff, and 3 red increases skill damage by 150%. This one is actually amazing, but similar to the basics, it is prone to interruption, so you have to be extremely careful when you launch this. It is fast, it is usable, but if the enemies are surrounding you, you'll get interrupted. If they do a big AoE, you'll get interrupted. So this requires good timing to use proficiently. Keep that in mind. Lastly, we have Chinese Union Art, Be like cloud, be like water. So, melee attack, hold the bait, 16-second cooldown, perform a consecutive attack by moving forward and twirling the staff. Holding the button will continue the attack without ending the skill. I didn't know that, and I haven't been testing it that way, but it already did a good amount of damage, so I can just imagine how disgusting that is going to be. Okay. So, gain super armor while attacking with 1 blue. 2 blue decreases the enemy's defense by 30% for 3 seconds. And 3 blue increases critical damage by 250%. I would like it to last longer, but I mean, when paired with the multiplier at a 30%, it is... I can accept it. It is just busted. This skill is the one that you want to use. The blue one is the golden ticket. You know, guys, it is just amazing. Red is usable for sure. Green is awkward, but blue, it's the color that you want to use. Now, let's check the other skills. Sand Art Binding Barrage. So, this is a range attack, hold attack, 11-second cooldown, forms 5 sand orbs. 3 are fire ahead in a fan shape, and 2 track and home in on enemies. Okay. When the slot effect are applied, enemies hit by the other orbs are ensnared for 6 seconds. Okay, that explains. So, it didn't make that much sense that 2 of the orbs would be tracking orbs. But it's the ones, if I'm not mistaken, if we look at the animation. No, I don't know which are the orbs. I thought it was the one at the very end, but it seems that it's these 2. I'm not sure which are the ones that track the enemy, but it has a weird AoE. But the effects are definitely useful. Check these effects. Set 3 decreases enemy defense by 30% for 6 seconds. 3 blue ensnares the duration increase. Ensnared duration increased by 4 seconds. And 3 red increases skill damage by 25%. So the skill damage increase is kind of whatever. It's already kind of not the best thing to use for damage. The only thing that would get all the hits would be a very bulky enemy like Queen Kanaloa or Queen Arachne. Then, the decrease is amazing. It stacks with another defense reduction that Lan has on her kit. But the issue is that it shares command with the pure green skill. So, that's a shame. And the snare increased duration is fine if you hit. That's the issue. I don't like the fact that some of these don't track. Like, maybe all should track different enemies rather than tracking the same. I don't know. Like they did it with Togiko, but better. And thanks to the penetration, the piercing capability is fine, but this skill feels awkward. I haven't used it that much. I have tested it on green, and it is fine for the most part, but just fine. Then, Chinese Union Art Tempest Formation. Tempest Formation is a melee attack, dash attack, 8-second cooldown, performs a wide area attack by gripping the staff at the end and swinging it forward. Okay, it works with the mains. Main green increases the defense by 10% for 5 seconds. Main blue reduces the enemy speed by 10% for 5 seconds. Main red increases the damage by 10% for 5 seconds. Blue and red are perfectly fine, but green is kind of awkward because her kit in green doesn't incentivize you becoming tankier in any way. Maybe you expose yourself to some degree, but this effect, the defense increase, is something that actually doesn't fit the kit. Then, Sand Art Sandblast. Range attack, immediately after enemy attack, dash, after performing instant dodge. Okay, I'm gonna explain that in a moment. summon a decoy that taunts enemies and you enter a stealth mode for 3 seconds. The decoy explodes after 3 seconds, dealing an area attack before disappearing. The stealth mode is cancelled if you attack during its duration. So, similar to Heavy Coat, this is an invisibility skill, but it says after performing an instant dodge. But the thing is that it doesn't say, it should say you counter. After getting a hit, you evade, or something like that. That's the action that happens. As you can see, you take the hit and it doesn't even evade, it just becomes invisible immediately. Well, that's what you can see here. It doesn't dodge, it just becomes invisible and you can reposition and you leave a decoy that explodes and deal damage. With one supporter, because this is the rainbow color skill, with one green supporter, increases the defense by 20% for 10 seconds, which is a really nice buff when you get invincibility, or invisibility in this case. Like, just what I needed, Creamery. Nice idea. Yeah, that's awful, but okay. Then, 2 green makes one blue makes the enemy groggy. Okay, that's fine. 1 red increases the explosion area of the decoy by 30%. So this skill is completely useless on PvE. This is a PvP skill. Groggy is super good on PvP. The area increase is also usable. The defense not so much. I guess at the start of the game, at the start of the activation of the skill, you'll waste a couple seconds repositioning. You will be invisible and you won't take hits. And then you have the buff, the defensive buff, for let's say 8 seconds. Okay, PvP, okay skill, sure. And it allows you to use it on any kind of mixed build, but it is extremely bad on PvE. Never use this on PvE, please. It's only a PvP skill. Why do I say so? Because we have a better option at Quicksand Antlion Pit. Antlion Pit. Immediately before enemy attack, evade. So this, unlike the previous one, is a perfect dodge, not a counter. 12-second cooldown. When performing an extreme dodge, deploys a sand pit for 6 seconds that pull in enemies standing on it and reduce their speed by 20%. So, yeah, the pulling force is not that great, but it is there. It doesn't deal damage at all. It is a utility skill, and it is a pretty good utility skill on green. Green says, increase the movement speed reduction on the enemies on the sand pit by 50% and reduces the enemy speed and the enemy's defense by 30%. So let's say that that's going to be a 30% speed reduction, and instead of 70, I don't think it's 70, it doesn't look like 70. 30% speed reduction and 30% defense reduction on the enemies on that. It is amazing. It is a great skill. You want to use this, definitely. Then, increase the duration of the sandpit by 2 seconds. I mean, fine, I guess. 8 seconds on 12-second cooldown. Usable nonetheless. Then, to red, increase the area of the sandpit by 25%. I think that's the ideal size. Honestly, it seems a little bit small. Not like super small, but a little bit small when you're not using red. So it is appreciated to have the extra size. Now, the last one. Chinese Union Art Sodi. Yeah, that's the way. So, melee attack, double dash, 8-second cooldown, teleports behind the furthest enemy and attack. Yeah, well, with 2 green, skill cooldown time is reduced by 20%. 2 blue, stun the enemy. 2 red, increase the damage by 20% for 7 seconds. Blue is usable on PvP. Very good for PvP. Red is actually amazing. And green is usable. It has a niche. Let me explain why this skill is important. So if we compare it with everything else, you're going to see the cooldown. And This one has 8-second cooldown, this one 5, but it's a counter. This one 7, and this one has 8. So the fastest one is gonna be this, but similar to the counter, it has another activation condition, and it's that you have to do the basics. So it's basically 8 seconds if you have to start an extra second if you have to start the attack, and this you can do immediately. Lan loves to use short cooldown skills because that way she's gonna get stacks for her leader skill, and that way she's gonna be able to deal more damage with the skill that you select to use for the 5th activation. Really useful, and the cooldown increase helps with that. So it is a very good skill, particularly on red. Red is just amazing. So let's test Lan. So we are over here already, and I'm gonna use first of all this one. We're not gonna do mixed builds with Lan because, as you saw, the rainbow color skill isn't something that we really want to use, and as I mentioned, the basics are kind of vulnerable to interruption, so I would avoid going mix with Lan. It is the first character that I think that doesn't want to go mix in most situations. Now, for the weapon. Yes, I do have the pack weapon, but I don't have it 5 out of 5, it's just 3 out of 5. As I mentioned, while this seems like super pay to win and mega busted, it is actually not the most busted thing out there. Like most of her weapons feel like beat sticks. She just requires the stat. They don't have like extremely good effects. Well, maybe the active of the gacha weapon, but that's a different story. So we're gonna use this with critical melee Magatamas. Then we use the Viridian weapon, 5 out of 5 plus 12. This one plus 11. And the Viridian weapon has whatever attack Magatamas to give stats. For skills, we're gonna be using Golden Crusher Staff, Antlion Pit, and Storm Formation. Storm Formation, because of the HP recovery, is really nice to have that HP recovery. Not required, but nice nonetheless. Then we're going to be using Suruga. Suruga because of the critical rate, because I don't have enough critical rate because the weapon is 3 out of 5. Nano to increase damage, and Kowaru to increase damage. Stats of the custom, stat training, and now let's do the run. Honestly, Green Lan is not the best. She's a better supporter than she is a damage dealer on green. I mean, she can perform the role, sure. But you don't wanna. Okay, done. Yeah, you definitely want to do that combo if you go green. You want to use the Sandpit to gather all the enemies, and then you use your pure color skill. Otherwise, you are going to miss, and you're not going to be able to clear the wave. Let's see, which is the skill that I have? The other one? It's the hold attack. No, it's the attack. Hold attack in the middle of the chain. Oops. Yeah, that's the issue. Come. Come here, God. You dum-dum. Nice, there. Stay there. Now, I'm just going to heal. And yeah, she is not gonna be able to do it. I mean, my weapons aren't that effective. Let me just do this on step 100. On floor 100. Because I'm doing better at, what's the name? At VR with Lan. On all colors actually, but this, as you can see, she doesn't have the damage just yet. I mean, she just released and I don't have enough Demonites to 5 out of 5 the weapon. And she can deal with the mobs easily. But her big flaw is that she's prone to interruption on the basic chain, and she needs to do the basic chain to heal. So yeah, okay, good enough, nice. And she can heal a lot. I mean, it depends on the enemy, sure, but it is good enough in my opinion. Where are you, Edwin? Edwin, Edwin. There. Yeah, we can do 100 on green. Yeah, that's not as difficult. Dawn, come on. I just wanna do my skill. There. Now I position in the middle of the stage so that they attack me, and I do the sand pit, and I use this. Perfect. And I also use the active just to... Oh, they are not dead! the mini-bosses are still here! Okay. Okay. Well, as you can see, Lan can dish out a ton of damage. But if the enemy has too much super armor and has a good amount of multi-hit, she's gonna struggle with HP recovery, even though she has it. As I mentioned, her basics are her kick flow. Even though the basics are pretty competent, these are the natural basic and they are pretty fast. And the enhanced version of those are even better. But as I mentioned, it's a character that you don't want to equip the basic enhancer. That's a shame. That's a shame. Now, let's try red. For red, I am going to do the big one. I think I can. She has just such an insane amount of damage that I think I can do it. So, same weapons. Always are going to be the same weapon. That's all I have. Then, the Descending Dragon Strike, of course, to deal damage. Tempest Formation. Suo D. And yeah, we start by using which one? Preferably Suo, then Tempest, and lastly Descending Dragon. That way you have both damage increase skills, both damage buffs. We use Azusa for the consistency because she's gonna help us with crits due to the lack of copies. She's also equipped with Fuyutsuki because mobs, and Barretta because we're gonna crit. So let's do the run with this one. Let's see if I can beat Murasaki. Murasaki is kind of the issue. The other issue would be not like this, and okay. The other issue would be what's the name of this girl? Nagi, yeah. Nagi would be the other issue, but let's see if I can manage. I'm just gonna wait. Perfect. And now... I don't have HP recovery. That's another issue. Bam, bam, bam. And I use the active. Since I don't have HP recovery, I'll have to be a little bit more careful with how I use my skills. But as you can see, the damage is pretty competent here. Bam, bam, bam. The staff hits. Oh god, I don't have HP recovery. Well, but I'm gonna progress a lot. I mean, in this case, you just have to change. Azusa for something that can provide HP recovery. Actually, that's kind of difficult considering that I'm not using a debuff. 1, 2, and bam, bam, bam. God, that's awful. Can I? 1, 2, and... Well, I exploded the enemy, yeah, sure, but I'm not gonna be able to beat this stage. Because of the HP recovery issue. How can we correct that, guys? I mean, we can equip, of course, Kirara, but... because she gives a regen. But that wouldn't actually work. Oof, well, yeah, there it is. Even so, you can see that she's extremely good. Let me just check very quickly. The issue is that this is not a team battle and I am not debuffing the enemy. If I was able to debuff the enemy with another supporter, let's say maybe this one, because she debuffs with the passive, she could equip Susune. But what other options do we have that provide utility, unlike you? This one. God, it is terrible. We don't have like a generic option that we can use if we don't debuff the enemy. That's bad. That's bad. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's strong. But to do this stage, we would need to go blue. 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 I don't know if I want to go this kind of blue. So, let me explain. This one, it is not as bad. Of course, we're using Be Like Cloud, Be Like Water. We also use Storm Formation for the speed increase. And we use Antlion Pit because of the CC. The other options are okay, but I don't think they are good enough on this kind of a stage. Now, since I am doing this, this was the VR set because we increase crit and such, but rather than that, I'm just gonna equip this because I don't have healing. So, you know, the generic option. If you don't have this one, Akine is a great option that makes you tanky and give you HP recovery, or equipping Felicia on the main. Since we have an assistive character here, Felicia is just amazing. She gives a ton of damage. Ana Rose is here to compensate the lack of damage. I would be using perhaps something different, but I mean, not the lack of damage, sorry, the lack of critical rate. And Shiranui to give attack, defense, and HP recovery. That's why we use her here, because she don't have natural HP recovery. Similar to Mirabelle, she does have HP recovery, but only one color. That's an awful decision, Gremory. I mean, it is fine on team content, and she excels at team content because she is a very simple DPS. And as such, she is not great on solo challenging content, like you saw on tower. I got defeated on red. Even though she has the damage, she doesn't have the sustain if it's not on green. And green doesn't have enough damage. Pretty odd, right? Now, let's see. Let's do the run. For the run, we're going to be doing this. And as usual, we start with the sand pit. And then I just... what's the command? It's hold the bait. Oof. And I can just interrupt it by releasing the button. What is the other command? Hold this one. But I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it too much. So we're going to do the pit, then the basic attack interruption, and then the damaging skill. One. Come on, let me. Yeah. And lastly, we do this one. God, is it disgusting. She can just keep attacking until the end of times? Is that it? Is that her niche? Oof. Well, guys, she can. That's disgustingly good. That's amazing. She can just use her blue skill until the end of time. Until her activation is up again. Is that it? Awesome. Awesome, I love it. Come on, guys. I just want to hit you. Yeah. Okay. But the cooldown goes down even so. Oh, okay. I mean, it makes sense. Oops, oops, oops. That was not wise, but I mean, I can just accept it and delete this enemy. Yeah? I love this skill! God. It is awesome. It is awesome. Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate that that we cannot just use it and the cooldown goes away. But I mean, it will be just too broken. It is already kind of broken, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna use the ulti just cause. Just cause I can do this. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Ouch. I was going to deal a lot of damage, but they interrupt me. Yeah, well, as I mentioned, Lan biggest issue is probably her being prone to interruptions. Blue is broken. Too broken. And I like that. Yeah. Take advantage of this build, guys. It is amazing. I mean, you can just equip whatever damage increase. And this one. Yes, you want this one. And you'll be fine. Well, you can put this on the main, as I mentioned. She's going to give you HP recovery. And you can rely on your allies too. Let's do a run on no on total, on VR over here. So I was doing a run on green with Sue. So what are we doing here? We're using Lapis as our healer because we need the healing. But she's also using the Ana Rose Momochi weapon combo. She uses anti-demon ice Magatamas, whatever weapon on the subslot, whatever attack Magatamas on the subslot, both weapon 5 out of 5 plus 15. As for the skills, Spear Barrage, Gem Support, Moral Boost, for healing basically, and this for the multi-hit. Then Mirabelle, because damage increase for the party, Ana Rose to be able to crit on BR, and Lapis to increase healing and to increase damage we deal as a team. Then Sue is a supporter over here, a damaging supporter. She's using Mighty Knuckles with Wind Demonic Magatamas. I was originally going to do blue build, that's why I use Wind, but in any case, doesn't matter. Whatever attack Magatamas, whatever weapon. Both 5 out of 5, this one plus 15, this one plus 10. Senrenka, Shunrenka, Shinryuga. So, these to deal damage, these to reduce the defense of the enemy by 30% for 10 seconds, and this one to get near the enemy and get an attack buff. Susune to ensnare the enemy and heal, and we get the damage increase because of the Momochi weapon. Gal Lilim to gain attack and defense. Fuyutsuki because there are mobs. And then Lan herself. The weapon is the same, but this time it's going to be attack anti-demon Magatamas. Then we use Golden Crusher Staff, Ant Lion Pit, and Suodi. For Suodi, we're using Lan, and that's why we have Sue. We don't need to use her on the main. This is good enough. Then we use Misaki. for healing and damage increase, and Nano for damage increase. And yeah, this is not going to deal the most damage, but it works. It works and it's silly. I love it. Let me show you. So we just abuse the weapon cooldown. Not the weapon cooldown, the skill cooldown. I just use this one more, and now I'm gonna use my skill with a boost. Another, and another, yeah, and done. I mean, well, yeah, no, Sora isn't here. I used Sora in another build, and I saw the Lapis attack, and I thought, it's Sora. No, it's not Sora, it's Lapis. So yeah, I mean, Sora is too broken to test stuff. She's unusable for testing now. Because I was trying to use her as a counter, Lan, but Sora wouldn't allow it because she would defeat the enemy too quickly. I just use this, and I use this, and one more. And done. Triple. Yeah, you saw the triple clone there. It's because of the weapon. Yeah, it is, as I mentioned, it is not that broken, but definitely the best that we have right now. I just hope that the decisive weapon pack is better. Okay. I just use this, and now, yeah, with the clone. And I just heal the party, and I just use the ulti, and that's it. No, it's not it. Oh, Lapis! Okay, done. Yeah. Lan is okay. I mean, she's not broken. She's not broken at all. She is kind of a... it's the kind of character we can expect at this point in the game. So, very quickly, let's check the weapons for Lan. So, we are gonna start as usual with the SR weapons. So, normal attack damage increased by 25-50%. As I mentioned, her basics are kind of good, except that she gets interrupted too much on those. That's why they are bad. Like, the speed, the combo they do, everything is okay. But how prone to interruption they are is just awful. Then, we have Combat Kahara. I cannot pronounce that. So, increase damage dealt to demons by 40% up to 80%. I mean, an anti-demon weapon, I'll take it. It is good. It is good. Then we have the character release weapon, which we already saw. I mean, the ambitious weapon. It is the best that she has right now. No, it is not worth investing 5 Demonites. I mean, if you want to invest Demonites on one of these ambitious weapons, Ragnarok's is better. Then, we have the Mileage weapon, which is always the Mileage weapon. Difficult to get, most people won't use it, and good for Groggy, you know? Absolver's Ferule. I don't know how to say that either. So, this one is excellent for challenging content, underwhelming for anything else. Not good for farming, not good for, like, anything, like farming, events, maybe usable at the very end of a stage on an event because of the bosses, but for example, in events like this one, when we have to defeat an X amount of enemies, no, this is not that great. And when there's one boss that has a bunch of mobs that respawn until you kill the boss, and that finishes the stage, well, no, that's not the kind of weapon that you want to use there. Then we have, of course, the PvP weapons and the Momochi weapon. As I mentioned, it can be used, but most of her skills aren't actually multi-hit per se. For example, and she has the basics, number one, which are fine, both with and without basic enhancer. Then we have this one. This one can be multi-hit or single hit, but since you combine it with the basic, it gives value for the Momochi weapon. This one is, it does multi-hits, but it is not that great. This one can be used for the Momochi weapon, but you don't want to apply stacks. You want to prolong the duration of the stacks. You don't want to start your stacks with this one. This one is amazing. It is super great with the Momochi weapon, as you saw. Binding Barrage, usable with the Momochi weapon, not that great. Not that great for the Momochi weapon. Not that great for the Momochi weapon. Not that great for the Momochi weapon. And not that great for the Momochi weapon. Yeah, like, yes, she can use it. No, she isn't really proficient at it. Just can be done. Unless you're blue. Broken blue. So, should you get Lan? I mean, it is not a high priority. It is definitely a good character. It is, let's say, easy to build. And why do I say easy to build? Because right now, omitting this weapon, any weapon would perform the same. They are just basically beat sticks. They don't have any particular trait that makes them broken in general. So yeah, you can just equip PvP weapons or the gacha weapon and it's the same. And the issue here is that she doesn't have HP recovery, so she is not beginner friendly. So for beginners, I suggest you avoid this character at the very beginning and go for her when you already have some of her weapons, when you have a good amount of resources to level her up quickly. Otherwise, you're gonna struggle because of the HP recovery situation that she has. So, what do you think about Lan? Is she worth it? Is she not? Are you getting her? Are you not? Are you buying the pack because now it comes with Demonite or Nano Machine, depending on what you want? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!